Contemporary artist Audrius Plioplys joins together art and science to create stunning, provocative work. Here with more now is Dr. Audrius Plioplys. Welcome to Community Connection.
Well, thank you for inviting
I find your work absolutely fascinating because it is the combination of two very diverse concepts. You take actual brain waves, images of brain waves, EEGs, from your own mind and create works of art. How did you discover this concept of merging these two?
Well, I've been working with trying to merge basic neurobiological issues that I was investigating in the research laboratory and clinically in the world of art. For over more than 30 years I've been doing it. And things have evolved over time as I've sort of gained more and more experience and tried more and more things out. My work does include my own electroencephalograms, brain waves that are intermixed, my own brain scans, previous artwork that I've done, neuronal patterns. So it includes a lot of different elements that are interwoven that have evolved over time. So what you're seeing now is a process of more than 30 years in evolution that's come out. So it's it wasn't a direct, straightforward route.
Well, and you also are able to bring these images to life in different media. How do you determine which image is best suited for, say, your lit images?
Well, each series of works was developed on its own, and I was incorporating ideas that I had and wanted to express them. The inspiration for the light sculptures, these are all LED light sculptures that I have, a large series of them, different series, actually was the stained glass windows at Rockefeller Memorial Chapel. It was the incentive to do them. I had an exhibit there, and going in and out of the building, some of them were just so stunning that I thought I need to do something in a similar fashion, but not as a stained glass piece, but something that would be sort of incorporate my neuronal ideas and concerns and philosophies, but have a stained glass kind of an effect. So that's where they started, and then they evolved into different forms: rectangular columns, independent standing columns. The columns themselves are about 6 feet tall. All of these are color-changing LED light systems, and they all sort of, being human in height, they sort of reflect us as being individuals. We radiate light, we absorb light, we radiate different colors as our moods change. And it's sort of, when you have a number of these together, it's sort of a model of societal interactions that I'm dealing with, besides the basic neuronal issues, issues of questions of where does thinking come from, where does consciousness come from, where do these things arise from as being the most important underlying questions. How does societal interactions arise? So I'm sort of metaphorically investigating these questions in my artwork using different media.
And so the idea is for the artwork to generate thought-provoking questions?
The idea to raise questions in the viewer, Visual art is intended for the viewer to be appealing. Something's got to be there. I've tried to make it appealing, interesting, and at the same time to attract somebody in so that then they'll provoke their thoughts. What is it? How can I relate to it? And I've heard many, many times people come in and tell me that, ask me questions, this looks like this piece deals with something from your own personal life, which I had no concept about. I didn't do it for that purpose. But people do see aspects of their own past history and showing up in the pieces themselves, which is very satisfying to me. I had an exhibit at the Lubeznik Center for Art, a big installation piece that's in Michigan City, Indiana. And they have a lot of student groups coming through, part of the educational program for Indiana, northern Indiana. And when these student groups, some of them as young as kindergartners, different ages, would come through, they would look around and say, everyone knew this has something to do with the brain, the mind, instantly, without any explanation.
How fascinating is that they would have that awareness
catch on instantly. And so I'm trying to provoke ideas and questions in people's mind. Yes.
The other thing that I was drawn to was the brain waves that you actually incorporated into a piece, and you were listening to Stravinsky at the time those waves were generated. Why was that relevant?
Well, it just gave me material to work with. At that particular time, I'm listening to that particular music, or I'm thinking about an artist, or I'm thinking about a specific writer, And so that then when I'm doing a work of art that incorporates aspects of their work, let's say a portrait of Kafka, his face or Becca's face, then I incorporate my EEG when I was thinking about them. So it just sort of correlates. It gives me material to work with when I'm dealing with art projects. And a lot of my electroencephalograms recorded that way, segments on different subjects and different
So when
things.
you look at that EEG, do you look at it as an artist or do you look at it as a neurologist?
Well, as an artist, as a neurologist, they're very boring. Very, very boring. They all look the same, basically. But as an artist, I know what I was thinking about, so to me it's substantive, and I can then use it and modify it and
So
transform
you
it.
could go back to that image and say, oh, this is when I was reading Kafka, or this is when I was listening to Stravinsky.
Because it says Kafka on it, I
Oh.
wrote it down.
There's no way to tell by
There's
looking
no
at it.
way to tell them apart.
You have installations around the world, but there's always, for an artist, and we're almost out of time, one piece of art that really represents their mission. Which piece of art is that for you?
Well, the most impressive was the installation. Just recently came down, except for a portion of it, at the University of Chicago, at the Institute of Affirmation of Knowledge. There's a 3-story atrium. It's a newly remodeled, rebuilt building. 3-story atrium. My artwork with light sculptures were there, a large number of them. Whirling pieces that were turning 8 feet tall, 4 feet wide, 3 of them at different heights from the ceiling. Very, very impressive. That was really,
That's your favorite one.
That was a fantastic one. But the thing about it is that 4 of the pieces are staying there permanently. The university asked me to donate them. They're now going to be on permanent display.
Well, you have a great
columns.
website. I'm going to tell people to go plioplys.com for the images, and you even have things for sale. Fascinating work. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you very much for having me. Really
Appreciate it.